The Forge in Anthem has a nearly unlimited number of combinations of loadouts for each javelin as well as associated appearances. So you can choose exactly how you destroy people and exactly how you're going to look when you destroy those people, entirely independent of each other. First things first, the loadout is all about making this number up here in the top right hand corner as high as possible. The higher this number, the higher your base stats. The higher your base stats, the more difficult the enemies are you can fight. The more difficult the enemies are you can fight, the better the loot. Also increases this vanity statistic of how rare your javelin is. You increase the number by equipping better weapons and equipping better gear. It's pretty straightforward within this tab. The appearance tab is entirely separate though, and it's broken up into two key areas. The area over here on the left is all about physically changing the form of your javelin, and the area over here on the right is about essentially laying stuff on top of that foundation of the physical form of your javelin. I gotta show you what I mean so you understand the concept. With your helmet, you can swap out whatever you want, which physically changes the actual helmet that you see, and then you can swap out different arms, etc., and your physical form is changed. On the right hand side, with things like vinyls, you can swap in a different vinyl, which is essentially a skin on top of that physical form that you just chose. Or things like your wear state will allow you to look anything from dirty to clean and new, and you can pick more of these up over time. Your animations are going to move that foundation with victory poses, arrival animations when you show up, in different emotes that you can acquire through the store in this game. And then the most complicated part, which is actually quite simple, are the paint jobs. This is where things get real in depth and you can drop hours and hours and hours into the Forge. Let me break it down and make it very simple for you. These spheres over here on the left-hand side are essentially the material that is available for you to build on top of. So, for example, if you have something that's a stone material for a certain part on your javelin, there's going to be a limited number of colors that you're going to see over here on this side associated with that stone. Let's say here, you've got a metal material. There's going to be a limited number of metal materials associated with that. And let's say you have a fabric material for a certain area, there's going to be a certain number of fabric-related colors that you can associate with that. You cannot pick colors in this game that would not realistically be able to be on a stone or on a piece of metal or on fabric to customize the look of your javelin. This makes it so that all of the javelins don't look completely ridiculous in this game. There's an unlimited number of combinations there, so you can get lost for hours within that section of appearance. Really quick, going back to the Loadout tab, there's a few different things that you should know. Things like assault launcher for the ranger and grenade is essentially your abilities in this game. It's not just a physical object that you can equip like in other MMOs and other shooters. In terms of weapons, you can equip two different weapons, so you can have a short range weapon and long range weapon if you'd like, and your components are very unique in this game. Let me show you exactly what I mean. This is the closest you can get to like building your base stats. There are 6 slots available for you here, and once you move into endgame and you get masterwork, these different components will have different statistics associated with them and secondary effects. You can chain these together, and then you can end up creating something completely ridiculous and overpowered as the statistical and effects-based foundation for your javelin. Support gear is really cool, and it's pretty straightforward to be perfectly honest. For example, with the Ranger, I've got 2 support abilities that I can use, the Bulwark Point, which is basically a bubble shield, and the Muster Point, which is essentially a damage increase for everybody in the area. That is it in terms of loadout and appearance. But the key thing to know is down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you can create multiple loadouts for all of your javelins as you see fit. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's say I wanted to make a build for the Ranger. I can select this, and then I can go ahead and pick New Ranger Loadout. Let's say I want to do a Freezy build. Cool, a Frosty Ranger is what I name it, just as this example. Then I can go back in here into my actual Loadout tab, and then I can select the Frost Grenade as the ability as a part of this loadout. Cool. Then, if I wanted to have a frosty look to be associated with that, if you will, I could go up here to my vinyls and I could go look around for something that looks frosty. Cool, that looks frosty. Awesome. Now I've created a completely customized look, a completely customized loadout associated with each other. As you can see, there's an unlimited number of combinations for you to be able to put these together for your different javelins, and so between the 5 here, go ahead and create themed loadouts for each javelin to accomplish different objectives in the game and to show that different flair that goes with it. A couple fast tips for the forge: you can toggle tool tips on and off by clicking whatever button is listed here for your platform in the bottom. So what this does is it makes it so that all those little menus go away and you have a cleaner look as you're going through your appearance tab and you're going through your loadout tab. So you can take a look at how your javelin looks and you can have that nice clean experience. You can also directly access your vault, and your button is going to change depending on what platform you're on down here, but that vault is going to allow you to basically go into your storage in this game, select any weapons, any components, gear, consumables, any crafting that you want to go through, all directly from the forge. It's all at your fingertips with these tools. And one last quick tip, and this is especially important in the appearance tab, you're going to see the option to zoom in down here at the bottom. Okay, that zoom in is really important if you want to get into the minute details of how amazing you actually look. Be sure to rotate your javelin, and it's really important. A lot of people only look at the front of their javelin. Take a very close look. You can do 3 layers of zoom in. Take a very close look at the back of your javelin. It's because you're going to spend most of your time in this game actually looking at the back of your javelin, so don't just look at the front, look at the back as well. You're going to see that 90% of the time. Did you know that there are 4 different ways to access the forge in this game? Yeah. I saved this to the end because I think it's important to know. There's the obvious one that you probably already know about, activating the forge here directly from Fort Tarsis. This is the launch bay, the social hub in Anthem. Once you get into the launch bay and you look over to the left-hand side, you're going to see these mechanical-looking platforms over here. Each one of these allows you to get direct access to the forge. This is going to be useful when you meet up with your allies. They're taking a few minutes, they're taking a bio, you're figuring out which expedition you're going to be using. Go into the forge and customize your build before going out on that expedition from here. You can also access the forge directly from the Expedition tab. Let's say somebody new joins your team, or you guys decide to change up the plan on what you're going to do next. You can go ahead and pop right into the forge from here. Don't go dropping into other loading screens. Save time, swap out your build, and then get back out there with your team as soon as possible. After your expedition is ended, you'll be given a menu to go to Fort Tarsis, the forge, or the launch bay. This is a great time to go to the forge. In fact, for new players, I'd recommend this is the main time you want to go to the forge. You just got your new gear, you just got your new ideas on what you want to do next, you're talking with your team about what the next objective is, jump into the forge from here and manage that inventory properly. Cheers to you, freelancer. You are way more familiar with the forge now, and we want you to be a part of our community. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, and a Discord server, 25,000 strong. We're all playing Anthem, we're helping each other out, and we are having an amazing time in this game. Link in the description and pinned comment below. It's free to join. Best gaming community ever for Anthem. Be there.